Right, welcome to a slightly different recording tonight. And what I'm going to do is to record some information which can be used eventually to set up knowledge for the language core programming technique. Even though the Irish government, the development agencies, the universities, the institutes of technology have decided to ignore this initiative, I am going to continue. I'm not going to allow their ignorance to defeat this project, which is a beautiful project. So I have to find what I want to talk about, which is on the internet under laurlivre.blogspot.com. And laur is the Irish word for a book, and livre is the French word for a book. So we're calling it book. Because the first language which is going to be adapted from Irish to English to French, and maybe a little bit of Sanskrit as well thrown in. And we have already worked little bits and pieces in about 25 to 30 languages. And I'm just trying to find, here we are. Now I won't be able to see what's on the screen or what's not on the screen, so I just have to wing it and do it with a wing and a prayer. Now the title of this blog post is One More Than That, and that is the first of the Vedic mathematics sutras. And in English it's One More Than That. In Sanskrit is Eka Dikena Purvena. And in time we'll get into understanding the Sanskrit a bit more. And the following chart, which I have here, shows Irish, English and French. And here we have the three numbers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And between each of the numbers, or each of the digits you could say, we have a little phrase. So we're actually filling the gaps in what was traditionally just 1, 2 and 3. So it's like we have the fingers. We have filled the gaps between the fingers with the phrase. Enis mona e. One more than that. Unde plus que sa. Enis mona e. One more than that. Unde plus que sa. And as I mentioned, in Sanskrit it is Eka Dikena Purvena. So what is that in this instance? That refers back. If we look, we could say that the sutras fill the gap between the digits, and I would say it is a good idea for people to take a look at this, to understand it reasonably well, and then to say what is one more than that in your own language. And you can write it in the comments here, identify the language, and then identify what one more than that is in your language. And in time, we will provide software so that people can actually type in whatever the phrase is that we're looking for. Now, the sutra is a word formula. A suture is like something to stitch two things together, or to stitch a suture. It's used in surgery, the word suture. And a sutra, it means to stitch things together. In Irish, the word is umaha, or umma. And in French, I asked Yvon, my French friend, my consultant, and he said phrase. So that's fine. So we say one more than that. Now you see in the diagram there, the way the red line, the dotted line, it goes out and then goes back. And it's as if in going from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, we're looking back. We're curving back. And this sort of movement, I give the phrase in Irish, is glúiseacht féin tagartha. It's a self-referral movement. Say, in French, I'll say it, but it should really be Yvonne that will pronounce this. C'est référer à soi-même. Something like that. And there's a phrase from the Bhagavad Gita which says, Prakritim swam avastabhya visrajami puna puna. Kur ash urum haim krohim arish is rish. Curving back on my own nature, I create again and again. And that's a very well-known phrase from the Gita. And it also refers to the meditative process, where you're going in and you're examining the unified field within. So there's a lot of beautiful computation. There's a lot of beautiful processes just in the movement of going from 1 to 2. Sinné gur maithagat agus slán.